which is not Quran or Sunnah. So it can be right and it can be wrong. And if this is truly attributed to him, I would maybe beg to differ, because not always the state of your grave is a reflection of the state of your heart. And this is a common mistake that people do. The punishment on the Day of Judgment is not related to the punishment in your grave, which means a righteous person who had done so many good deeds, who would probably not be held accountable on the Day of Judgment, may be punished in his grave. And a regular Joe, a regular Muslim, who is not that practicing, who is not that righteous, but he did not do the sins that would require him to be punished in his grave, may not be punished in his grave, but on the Day of Judgment, he may be admitted to hell due to the various sins he committed. But luckily for him, and unlucky for him as well, he didn't commit the sins that qualify him to be punished in the grave, such as cleansing himself after urinating, backbiting, slandering, stealing or robbing from the Muslim treasury, etc., among other sins, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Abu Ma'ruf from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salaam wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, a couple of questions.
Yes.
I would like to ask you the ruling regarding a family, consists a huge family, due to some misunderstandings. Two brothers are not talking with each other, and two sisters, in fact 3 sisters, are not talking to each other from more than a decade. And likewise, some of the family members, same father, mother, they are not talking to each other from the long time due to some small misunderstandings, this thing, that thing. Okay, I want you to give me the exact Sunnah ruling for this one.
Okay.
The second question is, a masjid near my house, Abdurrahman bin Auf, his volume while playing in the salah, the volume of the microphone is so high, as if it is equivalent to like haram. It's a small masjid, even one speaker is enough with a medium voice, but it's too loud, and sometimes it's perching, the speakers are perching. We can't hear it properly, what the Imam was reading. In fact, like I told you in my previous 2 discussions, it's a microphone Imam, like that, So I would like to have these 2 questions answers to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
You're quite welcome, Akhi.
Appreciate. Thank you.
Amber from Saudi.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I have 4 questions.
Yes.
The first one is it okay to say Jummah Mubarak, like wish somebody on a day, on a Friday, Jummah Mubarak? Can
Okay.
we do that?
Okay.
And second question is, before the Hajj, or before the Qurbani, before you slaughter, it's said that we cannot cut our hair and nails, and until the day we finish the sacrifice. Is this optional or mandatory? Because like men living in the Western countries, they have to go to offices or somewhere, and if they have they're going to do this the sacrifice, how can it be like they don't cut the hair or the nails?
Third question.
Shave. And third question is, like, I want to know about the Shraq Salah. What I know is like it's for men, because they go to pray Fajr in the mosque, and they don't leave the mosque. They keep sitting in their place until it's time for Ishraq. They pray and then they leave the mosque. Is it also for the women, like at home? How can we pray Ishraq and the timings?
Okay.
And the last question is, what is Jamama? It's some kind of an alternative medicine, I think. Is it a sunnah?
What is?
Jamama.
What is that?
Jamama, like cupping.
Hijama.
Alternative treatment, like where they squeeze out the blood.
Yes, it's called hijama.
Hijama, okay,
yes.
Sorry, hijama, yeah. So is it a sunnah, and I want to know about it.
Okay, I will answer
you.
inshallah.
That's all.
Jazaki. Shamim from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya Sheikh al-Muhtaram.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته أخي.
How are you, Sheikh Hassan?
I'm fine, Jazakallah khair.
Sheikh Hassan, I have two questions for you today. One is that if I pray witr after Isha, do I have to pray witr after Tahajjud? And
Okay.
second question is it not allowed to make your bedroom completely dark at night while sleeping?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome, Akhi. Okay, Abu Ma'ruf, number one question. Brothers and sisters not talking to each other, boycotting one another, completely disconnected with each other. What's the ruling on that? It's very simple. They will not enter Jannah. It's very simple. Yani, you pray, you fast. The Prophet said, ﷺ, that the person who severs his kinship will not enter Jannah. And Allah Azza wa Jal combined severing kinship with corruption in the earth when he said فَهَلْ عَسَيْتُمْ إِن تَوَلَّيْتُمْ أَن تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَتُقَطِّعُوا أَرْحَامَكُمْ. This is the worst sin a person could do, is to spread corruption on earth and to sever his kinship. So this is one of the major sins of Islam, and it's very sad for trivial issues. Even if he insulted you, even if he humiliated you, even if he cursed you, it does not justify severing the kinship if you believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla on the Day of Judgment, because what you do is for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So you have to force yourself and conquer your arrogance by going to your brother, by going to your sister, and to begin greeting them and giving them salam and giving them present, even if they curse back at you, even if they humiliate you. Do what you do for the sake of Allah, because if you don't, you have a big problem on the Day of Judgment. Aliya from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamtullah.
Yeah, actually, Sheikh, I have three questions.
Yes.
There has been a group started in India for rewards to help them out, and in the group, the rewards can post the questions of their personal issues, and if they have some doubts in the Islamic related to their deen. So, and they claim that they will answer from, they have some scholars with them, and they will answer the rewards from those scholars. But I really doubt it, because I came across some of the answers has been given in the group which is clearly against the laws of Islam. So I want you to please clarify it, because so that I can make it clear in the group that yes, I have contacted a scholar and get a scholarly opinion on it. Firstly, sister asked about that can she join Zohar and Asar Salah, as it's not easy for her to pray at time, because she hasn't disclosed about her reversion to Islam. So the admin in the group answered that yes, she can pray Zohar and Asr together from the time of Zohar till the time of Asr. That is fine. But later on she added that Allah has given so much convenience to you as a reward till you disclose your Islam to others. So if it is not feasible for you to pray during that time, you can offer them at the end of the day. So is it allowed to pray offer Zohar and Asr at the end of the day? This is my first question. So second question is other sister, and one sister asked if she can pray without her head cover. So admin replied that it is up to you and your circumstances as to what extent you could follow the ahkamat. These leniencies are only meant for rewards. Now, as an individual, you have to decide according to your own situation. So, if my situation is like I cannot cover my head, so is it okay for me not to cover my head and pray? This is my question. And thirdly, sister asked in the group about the how men are allowed to have polygamy, about polygamy in Islam, because some of the reward sisters is husband is want to have a second marriage. So in that, I was really surprised to see the answer of the admin. Yeah, just a minute. Yes, she said, according to her, she said that yet it is Quran promotes monopoly, and polygamy is only You can, polygamy is only allowed, like you can marry the orphans or the wives, the mothers of the orphans or the widows. Polygamy is allowed in that case only, because and it was allowed in the past time, and there was war, there were so many widows, there were so many orphans. So Islam allowed Islam promotes monogamy. Polygamy is allowed only in the condition of when for orphan and widows. So I want to ask, is it because can polygamy is allowed to marry a virgin girl? Are we allowed to? This is my question. And the last question is, a sister asked in the group about why a woman cannot go to Hajj without a mahram. And in that answer, mashallah, she posted some of the hadiths where she said it is not allowed for a woman to pray without a mahram. But later she added, there is one more opinion which I find best suits my nature. This is what the admin said. Some say that traveling in modern times have changed from how it was in the time of the Messenger of Allah. It is incumbent upon us to look at traveling in our time. It is not like how traveling was in the past. It is not.
Okay, Sister Alia, I understand your questions. Inshallah, I'll try to answer as many as possible.
I just want to say, last thing she said, that traveling has been changed from the past time, and according to Islamic jurisprudence states, ruling can change according to time. So is it that Sharia ruling can change according to time? And they said the current rulings regarding the woman cannot go to Hajj without the mahram are laid by the present Saudi government.
I will answer you, inshallah.
Yeah.
Abu Safwan from Kuwait.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Hayyak Allah, akhi.
Okay. Sheikh, I have two questions, one for myself and one for my brother, younger brother. My first question is, you see, I'm very sensitive. I have consulted a doctor, and they simply said we cannot do any cure to your things because I cannot stand any bad smell, and I start gagging. So sometimes I throw. So my problem is in the mosque when we are praying with the Jama'ah. Many people, they come to mosque, you know, they have a very bad breath, especially when in the ruku, in the sujood, and I cannot stand with that. Once or twice, you see, even I break my prayer and move to the other row. So in that case, because simply this is from Allah, I cannot, you know, I have no control over it. So what will happen? Because sometimes I'm worried, maybe this it looks like I'm arrogant, but I'm not. But this is something I cannot tolerate.
Second
question.
What
shall I do? This is my one question. And the other thing is, my brother, he has so many bad things. May Allah help him. So yesterday he went to one guy who claimed to treat this with the Quranic verses. And they said somebody tried to do some, you know, something bad to him, like some sahar, or maybe he has an evil eye. So what they did, they give him 3 packets and 1 amulet. He said you have to wear it. And the other 2 things is that we have to put it in a bucket and put some water in it and drink it for 1 month. And the other he gave, you know, you have to take bath with it. So inshallah you will be cured. And he didn't claim anything for it, but he gave the amulet. So my question is, what is the ruling? Because as far as I know, this is not allowed. This is almost shirk. So I need to hear from your side, so I can advise to my brother. Jazakallah, Sheikh.
Wa jazak, akhi. Wa alaikum salam. Abu Ma'ruf, second question is a complaint about the Imam of the Masjid who raises the volume of the microphone to the extent that they cannot understand what he's reciting, and is so loud that it is annoying those who are worshipping. Now, I'm assuming that he is talking about the internal speakers. And my advice to Abu Ma'ruf is, akhi, you should not have named the masjid, because this would count as backbiting. Because if I know the masjid, or someone is listening to you and he knows the masjid, then he knows that you're referring to the imam, who you call the microphone imam, etc. And this is not permissible. This is backbiting and ghiba. And he will take from your good deeds on the day of judgment. So may Allah forgive you and all of our viewers and us as well. What he's doing is definitely wrong. This is not permissible. the Prophet ﷺ had told us that among the Imams there would be those who would turn people away and who would make them repel against the prayer because of either prolonging it for too long or raising their voices in a fashion that is annoying and disrespectful to the Quran. Sometimes you hear Imam, instead of reciting the Quran in tranquility, in khushu' and submissiveness, they shout as if they're singing. They shout, literally shout at Allah Azza wa Jal. Now this is not part of the way of reciting the Quran of the Prophet ﷺ. Amber had a number of questions. She says, what's the ruling on saying Jum'ah Mubarakah? We ask in reverse. Did the Prophet ever ﷺ greeted his companions with it? The answer is no. Did the companions greet one another with it? The answer is no. Hence, it is not recommended, and it wouldn't be so far if we say that it is an innovation. However, one has to be really moderate and wise. Like Imam Ahmad said, may Allah have mercy on his soul, one of the great Imams of the 4 schools of thought. He said that when someone greets you with the new year, the Hijri new year, you reply back. So if someone says, MashaAllah, may Allah make our Hijri new year a good one, you say Ameen to you as well. But he said you do not initiate it. So if someone says to you, Jum'ah Mubarakah, says Jazakallah khair, and to you as well. But you do not meet people or send them text messages every Jum'ah on this regard, and Allah knows best. She says, what about clipping the nails and the hair for the sacrifice, for the udhiyah? Is it mandatory or recommended? It is mandatory only for those who are slaughtering. So if a man is slaughtering 1 ram for his whole family, for his whole household, the wife, the daughters, the sons are not obliged to refrain. He's the only one who is obliged to refrain. And she said that because people in the West may need to shave, shaving is prohibited for men. The consensus of the 4 schools of thought, 4 Imams, they all say that this is haram. Men are not allowed to shave their beards. So not only for the sacrifice, throughout the whole year. So it's only a 10-day period for your nails. You're not a Dracula, so it will not grow that long. You no need to fear. And for the mustache, again, it's not gonna grow that long. For the beard, it is totally prohibited to shave it. And then she asks about Salatul Ishraq. Salatul Ishraq or Shuruq, this is only for men who are praying in the masjid. So even if men pray at home, they're not be included, because the hadith specifically says that you have to pray Fajr in the masjid with the congregation and remain in the masjid making dhikr until the sun rises and then pray 2 rak'ahs. As for the women, they are not sharing the same reward even if they sit at home. However, it's my own understanding that if a woman is capable of going to the masjid and she refrains from going to the masjid for Fajr prayer because she knows that the Prophet told her that praying in your home is better than praying in the masjid, so she refrains from going to the masjid, anticipating the reward of Salatul Ishraq, that Allah Azza wa Jal would give her that reward, inshaAllah. Her last question about al-hijama, which is cupping, which is extracting some of the blood from the bottom of the head, the back of the neck, by slashing it and then sucking it out with special instruments. And this is one of the advisable sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ for seeking healing. So the Prophet told us that there are 3 means of healing that are beneficial. That is the honey, when you take honey, eat honey or drink honey, and the cupping and cauterization, which is to get a piece of metal and heat it, and then in specific areas of the body cauterize that. So this is part of the sunnah without any doubt. We have Abdul Rahim from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Samtullah. Abdul Rahim.
And Imam is already leading the prayer, and he has just went to ruku. When I say Allahu Akbar and I join my hands, am I supposed to say again Allahu Akbar and go to ruku, or the takbir one time only I have to say Allahu Akbar and directly go to the ruku? Is my first question.
Okay.
Yeah, my second question is the first answer which I heard from your show today regarding the relation, maintaining the kinship, basically. So I want to ask you, in case of a revert, when I am a revert, my parents, Alhamdulillah, my mother talks to me sometimes, not about Islam, but not a very frequent conversation. But my dad had stopped long back talking to me. Because they are upset with me accepting Islam, and my relatives doesn't do this thing, and I avoid talking. They ask me the snaps of me. I avoid that because I have a beard, and the conditions what my parents put that if I have to come to my hometown, I have to shave my beard and come. So I avoid even going to my hometown. So am I falling into the category where I'm breaking the kinship? Because this is kind of now little scaring me, because you said those people are not going to enter Jannah. So I just want to know.
Okay, I will answer inshallah, Abdul Rahim.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazak. We have a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah, we'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Shamim had two questions. The first question was, if I pray witr after Isha and I go to bed, and then I wake up before Adhan al-Fajr and I pray Tahajjud, must I pray another witr? The answer is no, it is prohibited for you to pray two witrs in the same night. So as long as you've prayed after Isha, then you only pray Tahajjud without witr, only even numbers. But if you are certain that you will wake up before Adhan al-Fajr, in this case it is highly recommended and more rewardable for you to delay and postpone your witr to be the last thing that you conclude your night prayer with. And the Prophet said, make witr the last thing you pray at night. And this is a recommendation, not obligatory. He says, is there anything in the Sharia that prohibits making your room totally dark at night? The answer is no. You can turn all off the lights, and you can put as many curtains as you want, so nothing enters your room from that light. Alia says that she has a group for reverts on the social media, and they've been getting weird answers for their questions. So she wants to be clarified. First of all, the deen can be only taken from trustworthy people. It cannot and it must not be taken from anonymous people or people who are not known. Scholars of the deen are well known, and they're known to other scholars of the deen. But when you get people who are no one, and they post answers and they give answers to questions without having any credibility, without referring to the Quran and the Sunnah, and without having the verification or authentication of other scholars, in this case this is a dangerous situation. Because Muhammad ibn Sirin, may Allah have mercy on him, one of the great tabi'een, said that inna hadha al-ilma deenun فانظروا عمن تأخذوا دينكم, that this knowledge that you're learning is religion. So you have to verify, and you have to scrutinize, and you have to know who you are taking your religion from. So it's not sufficient that someone has a big beard like myself and wearing this mashallah cloak and nicely represented ghutra and appearing on the TV and giving fatwa left, right and center, and you considered him to be a scholar. Oh, he comes on TV, he has to be a scholar. No, this has to be verified of his history, track record, of the scholars that have promoted him or vouched for him, and his academic teachings and consistency. Because so many people come and say things and change their mind a day later, and a day later they change their mind, on all aspects, not a mistake or two. No one is infallible. Everybody makes mistakes. So you have to verify who you're taking your religion from before you endorse what they are saying. This is Islam. Before I continue, Sister Noura is from the Emirates. Noura?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Yes, I just have two questions.
Yes.
Because I a health problem, and if I do wudu and pray, there is drops of urine coming out. So sometimes just one prayer, I'm repeating 5 times wudu.
Is this urine dripping continuous throughout the day or only after you urinate?
Throughout the day, Sheikh.
So it's always continuous?
No intention. I cannot feel that I will have drops of urine, but
Okay.
it will just go out.
Second question?
Second question, Sheikh. Is there any special prayer I can do? Because actually, my company is accusing me of stealing money.
Of what?
Stealing money, Sheikh.
Can they prove it?
Actually, still the case is going on, but
In the Emirates itself or back in the Philippines?
here, Sheikh, in UAE.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah, Sheikh. Thank you, Sheikh.
You're welcome. Okay, Alia's second question, or actually the first question, that a revert asked about the difficulty of praying, and the answer came that she can combine between Dhuhr and Asr or Maghrib and Isha, and if it is inconvenient, she can combine all of the 5 prayers at the end of the day. Now, this is a wrong fatwa. You cannot do this because Allah Azza wa Jal has made the salat on specific times. إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. It was designated, prescribed on specific times. So it is not permissible for someone just to combine prayers without a legitimate reason. If there is a legitimate reason that is justifiable at the side of Allah, a person can combine between Dhuhr and Asr, either at the time of Dhuhr or at the time of Asr, or between Maghrib and Isha, either at the time of Maghrib or at the time of Isha, but not delay all these prayers and pray them at the end of the night, because it would not be accepted and Allah Azza wa Jal would not accept that from her. So we have to look into the question itself, because we cannot simply just say, oh, this fatwa is wrong. Maybe the woman is under gunpoint, she is unable to leave the room. There are certain circumstances surrounding her question. But generally speaking, yes, if she is unable to pray on time, she has to pray as she is, whether she is uncovered. Yani, for example, if someone is 24/7 being monitored by her parents, who will definitely kill her or do harm to her if she prays, or if they knew of her Islam, and she says, I cannot leave the room. In this case, we say, pray as you are. You don't have to cover your head. You don't have to perform wudu. You can go and perform wudu. There's no problem. You're answering the call of nature. But for example, she cannot wear her headscarf. She cannot face the Qibla, because they're 24/7 monitoring her, and she knows for sure, for certain. It's not just doubts or whispers. No, she knows for sure that their track record would either allow them to harm her or to kill her. In this case, she can do that, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Abdul Nasser from Libya. Or to kill her. In this case, she can do that, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Abdul Nasser from Libya.
Sheikh, Salaam Alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, my name is Abdul Nasser. I'm a Ghanaian based in Libya.
Okay.
And I have 2 questions for you, Sheikh.
Yes.
My first question, I'm saying that may Almighty Allah prolong your life and bless you. You are doing very good for Islam.
Jazakallah khair.
And there are some enemies of Islam. They are always use some words which they saying that our prophet was saying that umirtu an uqatil an-nas hatta tashhadu an la ilaha illallah. So they are using this word just to say something bad against our Islam. So in case these people came across you and they put these words on you, how are you going to respond for their answer about that?
Okay, second question.
First question. And my second question, I always saying for those people that in the Quran chapter 5, Allah said that man قتل النفس بغير نفس أو فساد. I'm always saying this way to those people. So they are always say that no, they are always on the topic of أمرت أن أقاتل الناس. So I'm saying that these people, they are enemies of Islam. That they are still trying to convince some people on this one. So how are you going to solve this problem so that, yes, thank you.
I will answer you, inshallah, Brother Abdul Nasser. Victoria from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam.
Sheikh, I'm having only question for you. Just because I want to know about praying of traveler.
Okay.
Because I know when I travel from Philippines, it's to takes time, long hours. 13 hours like that, for example, sa KSA from the Philippines. So I can't pray. What will I do, Sheikh? When I come in Philippines, what will I do?
Okay.
And my second question is, what is the ruling of mistaking prayer? Because sometimes when I make prayer, I make mistake.
What kind of mistake?
For example, when I prayer 4 rakah, just only I say the 2 tafsir.
Say 2 what?
From the 4 rakah, for example, I finish Surah Al-Fatiha, I said Qul huwallahu ahad. For example, that one. And the second one is from the second ruk, I Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas.
Okay.
When the third I make my third ruku, I said 1 again, Qul huwallahu ahad.
Okay.
So I make 2 tafsir like that for that. And I know that is mistaken. So what is the ruling of that?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah.
Jazakallah.
Rafiq from Emirates?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, Rafiq.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, Akhi.
Yes, I have a small doubt. I'm working in the shop in this mall. Is it halal that I work in this some people not believing Allah, but I'm working at the people are getting salary? This is halal for me or what?
What are you selling?
No, not this is that I'm working with the people in the shop, but the people is not believing Allah. But I'm working with the people. I'm getting a salary. This is halal or what?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. Okay, I think that we will not take any more questions, so that we have a lot of questions to be answered, inshallah. So please hold the phone calls. Alia says that praying without head cover, we said that it's a must. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that every woman who reaches the age of puberty, she must pray by covering her head. But again, the necessity may permit, and this is like 1 in a gazillion, but we have to look into the circumstances. And the answer of polygamy, that it is not permissible unless she's a widow or an orphan, this is baseless. This is total bogus, and the one who answered this question should not be answering questions. And then the last question about a woman going to Hajj without a mahram, and the answerer or the person answering the question said that the rulings may change by time. This is again bogus. The rulings that were set by the Quran and Sunnah cannot be changed until the Day of Judgment, because Allah has revealed them as they are for every age and generation and for every location. So no one can come and say, listen, wine at the time of the Prophet ﷺ was haram because it was made of dates, or it was made of grapes or wheat or barley or whatever. But now we have like tequila, we have vodkas, and it's halal, it's okay, it's whiskey, it's halal. Subhanallah. Said, yeah, because at that time they did not have locks for their doors, so they could get drunk and get out of the home and loot and do bad things. But now, alhamdulillah, I'm confined to my room, and I've locked my room, I've locked my house door, and I can drink and be wasted, and no one would be harmed of this. Ya akhi, Islam is for all generations, for all ages, for until the day of judgment. So this again is baseless and unacceptable. Abu Safwan from Kuwait, he is too sensitive and he has a problem that he cannot tolerate a bad odor. So sometimes people come next to him in salat and the odor is so bad that he has to break his prayer and go somewhere else. So is this permissible? The answer is yes. Is this arrogance? No, it's not. As long as you say it's not arrogance, it's something that is psychological, something that is probably medical. The scholars said that if a person is in prayer and someone next to him comes with garlic or onion coming from his mouth, the odor, the smell, he is entitled to break his prayer and move to somewhere else. If you are in a location, for example, you start your prayer and Fajr prayer and all of a sudden you noticed, but it was too late because you have started the prayer, that the air conditioning vent is right into your head and probably you just had a shower. So he said, no, inshallah, I'll take my chances and I'll continue 4 rak'ahs or even 2 rak'ahs in this environment. But you know that you're gonna get cold or maybe you're gonna get a stroke or whatever. No, you have to leave that position. Or if you're praying in a position that is under the sun and it's too hot and you're sweaty and you lose all concentration, you are entitled to break your prayer. His brother, second question, his brother went to someone who claims to recite the Quran because he suffers from some health issues, and he gave him a ta'weez, a talisman, or an amulet, and few substances to dilute in water and wash with, etc. No, this is not permissible to use any of the stuff because this person is not from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. He is from the people of innovation, and using such amulet is means of shirk. So you definitely must not use that. Abdul Rahim from Saudi Arabia, he says, if I enter the masjid and the imam is in the ruku' position, so I stand in the line to join the imam, do I do first takbir of ihram, Allahu Akbar, then second takbir for ruku' and join them, or do one? The best is to do two. But if you do one, which is takbirat al-ihram, and move to ruku', including the takbirat al-ihram with the takbirat movement, this is permissible, insha'Allah. He has, Abdul Rahim, a confusion regarding his parents. He's a revert and his parents are disbelievers, and his father is refusing to talk to him. And he tells him that if you come to your hometown, you must shave your beard. So what is the ruling on that? Akhi, as long as you're trying your level best to connect and to communicate with your kinship, but they are the transgressors. They are the one who are severing the kinship, and they are the one who are trying to be hostile to you. In this case, you're not sinful. However, continue to communicate with them in whatever means that is suitable and acceptable. So keep on calling him, keep on sending him messages, send him gifts, talk to your mother, talk to your siblings. Don't go to your hometown if they would force you to shave or would harm you physically. Don't go at all, and you're not sinful at all. But you have to keep on trying your level best to do the minimum, bare accepted level of respecting, obeying, and being dutiful to your parents. Noura from the Emirates says that she has a problem with dripping urine, maybe a problem with her bladder or so. So she says, I sometimes repeat the prayer 5 times. Alhamdulillah, our religion is a religion of ease. Though it is mandatory, it's one of the conditions of prayer that you are in the state of purity. This is a condition that has to be fulfilled. But scholars say that those who are unable to maintain such purity, who are unable to fulfill such a condition, Allah Azza wa Jal has exempted them. So whenever you hear the adhan of Maghrib being called, you go to the bathroom, wash yourself, change your underwear, and perform wudu. And whatever drips afterwards does not affect your prayer. So you put a pad, you go and pray, even if you drip, no problem. From Maghrib till Isha, you can pray, read the Quran, do whatever you want, as if you are in the state of wudu. Once the Isha is called, you have to redo the process again, changing your nappies, underwear or whatever, clean yourself, make wudu, and then from Isha until you go to bed, you can pray whatever you want without being affected by the drops of urine. Her second question is that she's been accused, and there's a case ongoing in the Emirates courts against her, accusing her of stealing. And in Islam, alhamdulillah, each person who's accused of something is innocent until proven guilty. So if I come and claim that you've stolen money, now this is a claim from myself, I have to provide, and this is the legal aspects of it. Whoever claims something, he has to provide the evidence, either a written statement or two witnesses, male witnesses, testifying that they have seen this individual steal. If I fail to do so, so I say, yes, what's her name? Noura stole from my wallet. Okay, prove it. Well, I can't. I don't have any witnesses. Okay, then the judge goes to you, to Noura, and he says, did you steal? She says, no. He says, swear by Allah you didn't steal. And you swear by Allah you didn't steal, you are then acquitted. This is the legal system which is perfect with the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal. Otherwise, each and everyone would come and claim that someone did something to him, though he doesn't have any proof. A woman comes and says, this man raped me. Prove it. Bring 4 witnesses. He has to confess. If none had taken place, no evidence, no confession, then how can we believe that? This is the system that ensures fairness and justice to all. So may Allah Azza wa Jal grant you the truth and make your reputation clear, inshallah, from such an accusation. Abdul Nasser from Libya, he has a problem with the hadith where the Prophet said, I have been ordered by Allah to fight people until they testify that there is no God worthy of being worshipped except Allah. And between the ayah that is mentioned in Surah Al-Ma'idah, that whoever kills a person without a justifiable reason or corruption of on the earth, as if he had killed the whole of humanity. So he said that a lot of the disbelievers come and taunt him and say that your religion is a violent religion, etc. Well, this happens when people are ignorant, when they don't know the religion. If you look at the biography of the Prophet ﷺ, you will see a manifestation of whatever he had taught us. You will see the Quran being manifested again in his life and in his verdicts. So, first of all, this ruling is true. The Prophet has been ordered to do this. However, it is explained in another hadith. Whenever he dispatched an army, he would tell them, call them to worship Allah Azza wa Jal alone. Call them to Islam. If they accept, leave them. Khalas, they're Muslims. They're like you and me. Even if they're black or white or yellow or whatever, there's no discrimination. If they refuse to accept Islam, then tell them they are obliged to give jizya. They have to pay taxation, which is negligible, but it provides them protection in the sense that we are responsible for protecting them from any hostile army coming to attack them or any of their enemies. We will take care of them. So if they refuse Islam and they refuse to pay the jizya, then we have to fight them until we conquer their land. This was at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. This is at the time when the Muslims are strong and they have a strong state and a strong country. But in the current situation where Muslims are weak and vulnerable, this is not applicable at all, because they are not true practicing Muslims. It is not the territory that they're after, it's not the wealth that they're after, it is the spreading of the word of Allah Azza wa Jal, and to give the people freedom to worship whatever they want. If the Christians, if the Jews, they can do that. And Muslims have been tolerating these different sects and religions throughout centuries of Islam where the Christians and the Jews used to practice their religion without any fear or intimidation. Alhamdulillah. Victoria says she lives in Saudi Arabia. She goes to the Philippines. So in between, while traveling 13 hours, she shortened her prayers and combined. What is the situation when she reaches the Philippines? She has to pray full prayer because the Philippines is her hometown, her home country. If she goes to another city which is not her hometown, she may shorten the prayer because she's a traveler. But commuting between Saudi and her hometown, in both cities she must complete. She's residing in Saudi and her hometown is in the Philippines. But if she migrated from the Philippines and she only goes for a vacation, but she will never ever go back to live there for good, in this case she may shorten the prayer. As for her mistake in adding a surah after the Fatiha in the third and the fourth rak'ah, it is not required. It's not a mistake. And if a person does it intentionally or unintentionally, there is nothing for him to do. The prayer is totally valid. Rafiq has a question from the Emirates, and he says that is it permissible for him to deal with disbelievers? I couldn't understand the question, and I asked him what was he selling, but he has this confusion, saying that all around him are Christians and Hindus and Sikh and other religions. So is he entitled to deal with them? Akhi Rafiq, I would invite you to read the biography, the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. You will find so many answers that would relieve you from the confusions that you may hear or learn or see. The Prophet ﷺ dealt with the Jews. He sold them, he bought from them, and so did all of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. They dealt with the Jews, with the Christians, selling and buying. They even dealt with the idol worshippers, selling and buying. They dealt with the Byzantines. They dealt with the fire worshippers of Persia. So this is permissible. Selling and buying transactions is permissible in Islam. There's no prohibition of such, except when it comes to the nature of what you sell and buy. So if you sell halal products or you buy halal products, this is totally permissible regardless of the person selling it or who you are selling it to. But when it comes to a haram product, in this case, it becomes haram. Haqq says, I read that the people will be too crowded and naked on the day of judgment for 50,000 years. Will good people suffer like this as well? The answer is no. The Muslims will not suffer as that long. Some of them would not even wait at all. Rather, they would be admitted to Jannah on the spot. Some of them would have it very easy, as if it is as long as a fard prayer. This short. And this differs from one person to the other. Fatima says, what is the arrangement for trimming the nails? Must one do this accordingly? No, there is no special format. You can begin with your left hand, you can begin with your right hand, you can begin with your pinky finger or your thumb. This is up to you. Muhammad says he is 19 years old. All those in the class with him in the Tahfidh Quran are 5 or 6 years younger. He feels embarrassed and he doesn't want to go to Tahfidh. Is this arrogance? The answer is no, it's not arrogance, but rather it is something that Shaitan is trying to stop you and prevent you from continuing to do halal things that get you closer to Allah. So suppress this shyness that you have, suppress these feelings, and feel free to attend, because you are learning the best knowledge, the best thing to be learned at the side of Allah Azza wa Jal, which is the Quran. With this, we come to the conclusion of our episode. Until we meet same time next week, I leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help